Hello everybody, finally here we are. Welcome to a new Odoo webinar on how to train your sales team to ask the right questions. The goal of this webinar will be helping your sales to actually understand your customers and ultimately sell more. Who can benefit from this webinar? Before starting, I would like to highlight specifically who can really take advantage of this webinar, which is not only our ecosystem, but all the companies, all the team leaders, all the division leaders that make part of a company or that runs a business or a sales team. Everybody can really take advantage of that. My name is Marco Villari, and I've been working in Odoo for the last 4 years. Right now, I am team leader and partner manager, which means that I am managing a team of 8 people all around Europe, Southern Europe, Eastern, and the Nordics. And today, within this webinar, I would like to show you and to share with you some insights that can really help you make the difference with your potential customers and teaching your team how to deal with them properly. Okay, let's go through the agenda right now. For a better fruition of this webinar, I will activate also the pointer here so that you can follow me in a better way. So the first theme of the agenda will be why questions are important. Let's start clearly defining that. Second, how do we ask the right questions? Third point is how do we train our team to do it? And at the end, I will share with you some practical examples and a question set you can always use in the future. Don't forget to stay with me until the end, as we will have a Q&A, so drop all of your questions that you have during the webinar and we will see them together later on. Okay, before beginning, I would like to leave behind some myths that probably you have come across during your experience as business owners and sales. Salespeople are not natural born. You can definitely learn to be a sales and to become a better professional over time. It's not connaturate in you. Second, extroverts sell more. How many times have you heard that? Well, that's not true at all. Extroverts is just a way of socializing or maybe being energetic towards towards other people. But also introverts with their own style can absolutely be great sales. So let's not confuse that. Third point, the sales process is the same for every customer. That's absolutely not true. And fourth, and least of all, sales is all about convincing. This is particularly important, especially for salespeople that are with customers every day. Convincing is just a part of sales which comes at the end of the process. It is not all about it. So, just to take the main takeaway of this is that you can really learn to become a successful salesperson, and this is also what we really believe in Odoo. Okay, let's start simple. What are the number 1 qualities a salesperson needs to have to succeed? Most of you will know already the answers, but let's just clarify that. First of all, active listening. What does that mean? Active listening is not just listen. When we listen, we are focused mainly on what we would like to answer after the other person has stopped talking. Active listening actually is to understand all the non-verbal and verbal communication of the other person. It's a skill and you need to acquire it with time. So practice that and become a master with it. Don't think about what you need to answer. After all, you just focus on how and what your customer is trying to communicate with you in that moment. Second, learning and coachability. This is a very important quality. A salesperson needs to be open-minded. So needs to always put himself into other person's shoes and also put himself into questions. Always being open to learn and to be coached by someone. Last but not least, we need clarity when asking questions. And that's, of course, the goal that where we will focus on during the webinar. So let's come to the main question. Why are questions important? Well, on one hand, asking questions is crucial for your sales, but most companies don't really teach what questions to ask. Most companies just take salespeople and throw them into the business without really understanding the context and not even teaching them and ensuring they know how to move inside that context. Second, salespeople have to figure out alone which questions to ask. This, of course, it requires way more time, and this is something that we can prevent since the beginning to avoid with a correct training, for example. Third, sales experience alone is not enough. Absolutely not. Sales experience, as we said, as sales are not natural born people, we need to acquire experience to then, of course, address the right pain points. On the other end, the fact of not having clear which question to ask and how to ask will create a loss in several aspects of your business. For example, deal closing, training opportunity and evolution, the time consumed in talking and calling leads without really getting deep on what they need, company context understanding, long-term growth, and also the possibility of becoming a trustworthy advisor. But we will come back to that in a while. The benefit on the other side that you can really have if you train properly your team on asking the right questions are several. And here I just list some of them, but you can really find lots of new benefits that can help you growing the business and train your sales team. For example, understanding the customer needs is the most obvious one, but still you can obtain valuable information by letting them talk more, building rapport and trust, overcoming objection, competitive advantage compared, for example, to other salespeople that they don't ask questions, but they just are focused on selling, and consultative approach, which is what the main customers, the main potential customers are looking at. A consultative approach that our salespeople can share with them. So how do we ask the right questions? Let's see. Let's start from two conditions. In order to be able to ask those right questions, we need, first of all, to understand the relationship between marketing and sales. I will come back to that in a while. And second, we need to have the ability to identify at which stage our lead stands in the sales funnel. Have you ever heard about it? If not, very bad, but don't worry. We will also go through that. Let's go with order first. Everybody, I hope so, heard about customer journey. If not, I will explain you what it is. The customer journey is a series of imaginary steps that a customer makes before choosing to buy your product or service. The customer journey can be seen under two different lenses, the marketing funnel and the sales funnel. Both funnels need to be aligned between each other, because the goal of the marketing funnel will be to identify the right prospect, and of course the stage in which the prospect is, and to bring it closer to your brand. On the other side, the second step in the sales funnel is to convert that lead and into a paying customer. So bring it ultimately to the purchase. Let's see how. To make you understand how the both of the funnel aligns, when your marketing and branding efforts are successful, so when a prospect gets closer to your brand, a qualified lead enters the sales funnel, okay? At this stage, they are familiar with your brand and they know that they have a problem, a pain point that you need to identify to stress enough and then to heal with your product or service. So this is really the basics to start understand how to now train your sales team. The classic customer journey steps is composed of three main steps. I will not focus on loyalty and advocacy because it's not the main goal of this webinar, but on the three main other steps. So the marketing funnel is composed of awareness, consideration, and decision stage. To these stages, on the sales funnel corresponds other four phases, which are awareness, interest, evaluation, and decision. Now we will see how do they connect, because when a first prospect comes into your brand and because your marketing actions have been successful, the prospect not only is already aware that you exist as a brand, but on the other side, under the sales aspect, you have a lead that your salesperson can treat with different approach according to the stage. And that's where we are going to end up. So how do we train our teams to ask the right questions now? So let's focus now on the sales funnel stages. When a lead comes to you, is aware that they have a pain, a problem to solve. That's when a lead is inside your CRM, right? Well, that lead, the more you are finding points to qualify and to understand the need, will then go to the second stage, which is the interest stage. And according to that, he will go now to find research and more information about your company. After interest stage, they will go to the evaluation stage, in which they will evaluate your brand with other companies as well, to ultimately decide to go and buy your product or service. So how do we practically treat leads according to their funnel stage? Let's go to see together the different stages. So at the beginning, we have the awareness. A lead enters in your CRM, and the salesperson action, it's gonna be the qualification. So we need to define the context, the pain, and the problem that our lead is trying to solve. In this stage, as you can see, there is no selling, guys. You don't come up with price, you don't come up with offers. That's exactly what you don't have to do. Now is the moment of only listening to what your prospect has to say. Second stage, interest. They have made more research about your company, probably also most likely other competitor. Then the goal of the salesperson will be to follow up and advise with several touch points. You can define the need, share with them valuable information, prepare a demo to get deeper and understand more what's the pain, what's the need, and how to solve it. Fourth stage, the evaluation. The possibility of closing your deal becomes more concrete. That's when your salesperson needs to make an offer, start discuss pricing, possibilities, and probably engage also in a second demo, more questions, following up, in order to increase the chance and the probability to close the deal. Last but not least, the decision stage. Here is where you basically negotiate. Here is when you need to convince your prospect, your potential customer, that you are the best. So there you engage with sales techniques and ultimately win the deal. After we have the loyalty, but as I said, this is not the moment in which we will focus on it. So what are the type of questions now that you can use according to the different stages in order to dig deeper in the need of your customer and understand what they want? Let's go through that. First of all, pre-qualifying questions. Pre-qualifying questions have the goal of understanding the fit with your product or service. Basically, they help you understanding the context in which your prospect is in. Second, we have the qualifying questions, which they are important to discover and understand more about their current situation. Then we have the hard qualifying questions that the goal is understanding the reality of the deal, we will see. So they stress the point on the urgency. Then we have the follow-up questions. You can use them whenever you want to dig deeper and ask for more information to your customer. And at the end, we have the closing questions, close the deal. Let's see some question set that I've prepared in order for you to understand how to operate and how to really use them in different situations. First of all, pre-qualifying questions. As we said, we need they serve to understand the fit with your product and service. So you need to understand the context of your customer. First of all, what is your core business? How do you make money? These are very general questions you can ask. Or, for example, how is important for you to increase your sales within the next 12 months? That's a generic question. Or what is your current way of managing incoming lead requests? Then we go to qualifying questions to discover more what is the situation and to ask for more information. Okay, Mr. Customer, what pain problem are you trying to solve? How does this issue impact your business or maybe another department or maybe your employees? Who is trying to solve this problem at the moment? You dig more to discover the need. Hard qualifying questions, they define the urgency, so the reality of the deal. And these kind of questions are more direct, and they ask the customer to prove that they are actually doing something to solve the problem, such as, what other option are you considering except of us, for example? What is the budget range that you have hypothesized for the project needs? What is the decision-making process? Which is the deadline that you have set up to take a decision? Then we have the follow-up questions. As I said, you can really use them in any occasion to ask for more info and dig deeper in the need. Can you tell me more about that? Why does that matter to you, to your business? How did that impact you? How did you feel about that? What's your opinion? This is a very powerful question to ask the opinion to a potential customer about the situation, and this gives you really makes you stand out of the crowd in terms of advisory. This is where the customer will really understand that you make the difference and you are a valuable advisor for them. Last but not least, we have the closing questions. These are typical questions to close the deal and to move to the final steps. So, for example, what do you think of what we have discussed so far? What would you like to do next? When would you like to start with the implementation? This puts the customer in front of the reality of, okay, we need to start, I'm ready, now it's you to decide when, and I will help you to do that. In order to go on with the last part of this webinar, I have prepared a practical example associating the sales funnel stages with the salesperson actions with a practical example and different scenarios that your customers might have. So, let's start with the awareness stage. Imagine a potential customer coming to you with a specific problem. For example, the sales are not growing. They have a messy inventory organization, or maybe your customer had a bad visibility online. How do you act as a salesperson in this stage? Well, as we said, we qualify through pre-qualification questions and qualifying questions. So we will ask questions such as, how do you make revenue in case of your sales are not growing enough? Or in case of your inventory organization is really messed up, what's your current inventory process? How do you make yourself visible at the moment if you don't have a good visibility online? So what are you doing? What's the current situation? Second part is the consideration stage, when your customer is already potentially interested in understanding more about you and your product. In this case, as we said, the customer is interested in to learning more about you, is doing competitive research. So now you need to change your strategy. As a salesperson, you will need to follow up with hard questions and follow-up questions in the right way. So in this case, you advise them to and you share content with them. You follow them on social media, for example. You share with them video. You give them insight and different perspectives of what they have. You show how your product can help, so you can prepare a demo, for example. This is the right moment to try to get them to your side. Third step is the evaluation. Now they are really evaluating you and some other competitors. They know they can solve the pain, the problem they have with you. In this case, you need to go for an hard follow. This is a step that I like to call it like that, because here is when you change the status from a consultant that you hire as a sales to a real sales. So now you will engage in follow-up questions, closing questions. You will go maybe for a second demo in order to convince them more. You will make a first offer to let them understand the price and how valuable is your price in comparison with your with what they are getting, and let them understand why your product is the best. I would say here is when you really, as a sales, you need to convince the customer you are the best. Last, you have the decision stage. In this stage, the potential customer is ready to buy. What do you need to do? Well, this is the typical negotiation phase. Here, you will go with closing questions, with follow-up questions. You will discuss the offer. You will use sales leverages and closing techniques. So, okay, what's missing for you to close the deal today? What do you have in mind for the split payment? How would you like to start? When? all these questions will help you to close and put the deadline on the deal that you have in front of you. You will need to convince once more that you are the best to solve the need. Okay, guys, we are coming almost to an end of the end of this webinar. I would like to sum up a couple of parts for you. What have we seen? What did we learn until now? First of all, we learned that marketing funnel stage and sales funnel stage are connected. Okay, marketing comes first, and it corresponds to a sales funnel stage for every step. We have two lengths of the customer journey, which is marketing and sales, focused on brand and purchase. We learned then that at each sales funnel stage corresponds a different sales approach. For the awareness, you pre-qualify and qualify. You don't sell. The customer is not ready to buy. Then the interest stage, you hard qualify and follow up with questions to understand more the context and the situation. Evaluation, then you hard follow. In this case, you discuss an offer, you make an offer and discuss an offer, and you start following up constantly with your customers until it takes the final decision. The final decision instead is the moment in which you can negotiate and try to convince at the best your customer. The second thing that we learn is the questions that you can have and you can ask during the different stages of the sales funnel. As we said, pre-qualifying questions, they let you understand the context. So understanding if there is a fit with your product service and your potential customers. You need to understand also when to say no to a customer, because you know that it's simply not a fit for your business. Then you come with the qualifying questions. It's to discover more and understand and ask about their current situation, so get deeper in the need. Then you have the hard qualifying questions to understand if the customer has a real pain and has done already something to heal that pain, so to assess the reality of the deal. Then follow-up questions to ask for more information and dig deeper. And at the end, the closing questions to close finally the deal. Okay, so we have seen a lot of things during this webinar. Now is the moment for the Q&A session. Stay with me, write your question, drop them, and we will discuss them in a while. Meanwhile, I really thank you for being with me during the whole time. If you want to connect with me, please, that is my LinkedIn link, and see you on the Q&A. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, hello from, wow, so many countries, guys. Okay, so you have any question, Marco? Can you show or advise how we can create a marketing sales guide for our marketing sales team to help them walk through these steps and teach them on the go? Boyan. Okay, Boyan, this is actually a very interesting question. What I would say is, in this case, well, we can for sure share some insight, but maybe it's better if you contact me directly with through LinkedIn, and we can discuss about that more in depth. Because this is a very general question, to be honest. If you talk about marketing and sales guide, it's quite extensive. So I would need to understand what do you want to, what's your goal, which kind of guide you want to create in terms of marketing and sales, because trust me, there are really a lot of things to assess. But please contact me in private, and we can see each other so that I can qualify also your request. Okay, what will be the difference between first and second demo? Okay, Iris, that's actually a very good question in this case. So a demo can be a physical product or a software indeed. First demo normally is more a touch point in which you really, with a glance, you need to catch the potential customer attention on how beautiful, effective, easy, simple is your solution. Okay, in general, during the first demo, a lot of follow-up questions will arise from the customer. So what I suggest is keep it simple, keep it, of course, aligned to what the customer asked you, okay, so that you can always refer to the need. but it will never be comprehensive of everything. So first demo, impact, they need to love the product, you need to be really passionate about it, and of course address the need that they ask to see. Second demo, if they really want it, so if they are in a later stage and they are more convinced about you, it will be more in-depth, probably to some functionalities that can help them solve a specific pain, a specific need. So the second demo normally is more advanced and it requires more time also to prepare. You cannot do it on the fly, let's say like that. Can we get a copy of the slides? Yes, that's easy. Please share the LinkedIn profile of Marco. Okay. Okay, let me check. How do we separate marketing with sales in Odoo? Okay, can you I will just I will not forget this question. If you can please write something more to make me understand what do you mean. What do you mean how to separate marketing and sales? Then good example of common pitfalls or mistakes the sales teams make when asking questions, and how can we avoid correct these in our sales process? Yes. So examples of common pitfalls or mistakes. Okay. First of all, a typical pitfall and problem that I normally see, first of all, is not asking questions at all. Because sometimes what it happens that, so this is a typical, a common issue that we have as sales we have. We are always in a rush. We think we understood the need when actually we are totally out of the point. So first of all, common pitfall is thinking that you got it at the first glance. You didn't get it. So it's better to maybe ask the question twice and how do you say, formulate it in a different way to be sure that you are getting what the customer wants to mean, you know. So in this case, it's really put your active listening at work and ask more questions to be sure that you're getting the point. Another thing, for example, that I would totally avoid to do is asking questions that are closed-ended, like yes, no. Okay, do you agree? Yes. Do you agree? No. It's very, it should be broader. Especially at the beginning, when you need to understand what the customer wants, avoid accepting just a yes or no. Push and challenge the customer to ask you more, to give you more information. Okay, so these are the two common pitfalls: not asking question at all, or maybe accepting an answer like yes or no. Not enough. Always dig deeper. Okay, why no? Why do you think no? What's your opinion on this? You know, always try to let them talk as much as possible. Okay, which apps according to marketing and which is for sales? But so if it's just about apps for marketing and sales, so they should be indeed combined together. But email marketing, marketing automation, CRM, website, e-commerce. Website and e-commerce are a source of traffic, no? So from there you get your sales into the CRM. So all the sales and marketing apps are all the different touch points that you can have with your customers outside. So the website, marketing automation when you send out emails, email marketing, can be also the live chat. All of these apps contribute to create marketing and sales to work together for the scope of serving the customer. Then could you provide example? Okay, which apps according to marketing, which is for sales? Okay, I answered already that. Let me check. Okay, would you recommend in opening a new market? Okay, this is also, it goes a little bit beyond the webinar that we have seen, because this is another topic. So I would suggest for this question especially, contact me on LinkedIn. We set up a call and we understand how to dig deeper in this, because this is a totally different topic. By step 3, can we not create a beer? Define the requirements. Thank you. Okay. Okay. By step 3, we can create a BRS to define the requirements. Can you please clarify BRS? Maybe I'm not really acquainted with the acronym, or maybe I'm not getting it right now. Thank you, Fashion Chetty, sorry to pronounce your name bad. Then thank you. What is the name of this methodology? Okay, which I didn't refer to any methodology. Let's not confuse the sales methodologies with what we have seen until now. Captain Solus. What I'm trying to say here is sales methodology are addressing questions in a certain way in order to get all the information that you need. So you use, for example, spin selling, or sometimes you use the bunt methodology. You want to identify some topic, some specific topics to address. The budget, who is the decision maker. The point is, this is not a methodology. This is a macro context in order to address and with the right attitude your customers. Okay, so I wouldn't define it. There is no name in this methodology actually. Okay, what is perhaps my first question didn't appear. Yeah, no, Captain Solus I just answered. You have a very good rating for this year. Is there any use case example of Odoo business requirements? It's okay. The Odoo is available in Portuguese. Yes, we have a lot of is the Odoo is available on Portuguese. I believe the software, right? Yeah, Paulo, it's also in Portuguese. Should a salesperson necessarily go through all the sales journeys? Justin Eguazi. I'm sorry, really, guys. You have beautiful names, but the problem is mine. Okay, a salesperson, I recommend to understand in which stage of the sales journey your potential customer is. So skipping stages is not recommended, but of course, if you know that the customer from the first call, he's just looking for information and he doesn't really know what he wants. He knows that he might have a problem, but nothing is concrete. You already identify the fact that well, that's not the moment to engage in any conversation. Just send in some material, let's go on. If you identify, for example, that they have the urgency to start because their website is out and they need to be live with the new ERP system in 3 months, then there is a need, there is an urgency. You know that it's already in the evaluation stage. It's very advanced. So you really need to know at least all the sales steps. And then if you are expert, of course, you can always try to jump along the stages and engage directly with the customer. So what is this? Is way to create checklist questions. Okay, no, this one is more functional. So I would not just reach out to me and we can discuss if you have a need specific with Odoo or you need a demo for some specific cases. But this I would say that it's out of scope. Whatever you can give dealing with okay. What advice can you give on dealing with needy customer that want to drill down into every point before to close the sales? Okay, James Moyle. So I assume so. The question of James is, what advice can you give on dealing with needy customers that want to drill down into every point before to close the sale? Also here, it depends on the stage. If they're just interested and they are asking for general information and they want to dig deeper in anything, but they don't have yet a budget, they don't have a problem, they don't have the need to buy, they don't have the urgency. What we say is that they don't have the bleeding neck that they need to buy to solve a problem, then I would say treat them with the right amount of information you can give them, and then you postpone to another time when they will be ready to engage in a serious conversation. If instead the needy customers is on the edge of choosing the solution, you or a competitor, well, there is when you need to put more efforts, because you really need to demonstrate you can solve the problem. And of course, some of the needy customers also they engage in that kind of questions because they want to be sure, maybe because of the investment, because the big change they will have inside the company, they want to be sure that they are making the right solution. So you need to also pay attention to make them sure you are the right person to go. So your product is the right one. Okay, is there a roadmap for customizing accounting model? Okay, this is also not on scope. Hi Marco, can you give some example of questions to check if a business is a fit? Do you consider the size of the company? So Pedro Antunes, example to question, check if a business is a fit. Okay, yeah. Okay, being a fit with your solution, for example, in this case, I would consider Odoo. It really depends on also on the kind of need and what you are looking at. If you are targeting the small companies, let's say, normally small companies, they will not need to necessarily invest millions to find a solution. You can try to see if they are a fit by proposing them simple solution to what's their budget, what's their actually size. Okay, if they don't agree with that, probably you can challenge them and let them understand, okay, what you're asking me, it's totally out of budget for you. I would maybe suggest you to start easy and then to scale after, So these kind of questions could be more addressed to what they expect from your solution. Okay, but this, of course, contact me and we can also maybe go. If you share me a specific case, maybe we can also see together how to understand better. So, main website. Okay, thank you. If marketing steps mix audio. If marketing steps mixed with sales steps. Okay, that's a good question. Peacock Digital Studio. If marketing steps mixed with sales step, how we can identify them in Odoo CRM upstage. So, guys, let's start from this aspect. Once a lead is in your CRM, it's already at the bottom of the funnel that you have seen on the marketing sales funnel, because they already decided to engage with your brand. So, the marketing steps cannot be mixed up. I mean, there needs to be an alignment. If there is a lead in your CRM, it means that the marketing has done a very good job. They reach to you. Now it's up to the sales to understand how they are perceiving your product. Maybe they are ready to go on. Maybe they are not ready. Maybe they're looking for information, but they know that the brand exists. Okay? Okay. No, not yet. Crypto blockchain functionality, not yet. Marco. Okay. Reynard. Okay, Reynard, I don't want to mess with your name. Our company provides a wide range of e-learning products across various niche practice areas. Who do you think is a good idea to allocate specific practice areas to specific personnel? So personnel, so internally in you, in your company. Well, it depends. If you have specific persons, specific people that have specific skills of dealing with an area, that could be a good idea, no? Because they know already what to talk about, what's the main topic. But more than that, I would maybe create different strategies coming from the different products, so from the different e-learning products you want to sell, because the content might be addressed to different buyer personas, so to different companies, for different people. I don't know if it's B2C, B2B, but I assume it's B2B in any case, to different companies and with different size, with different need in that case. So I would focus also on which kind of e-learning product it is, which kind of content it is, and after that create a strategy directly and vertical for that kind of target customer, let's say. Thanks, Marco. Thanks, James. I would like to get lessons of Odoo in Portuguese. Okay. At the initial level, so Lokendra Kawan. At the initial level, customers also look for references, even if developers are equipped technically. What should we do in this case? I don't understand. Sorry, Lokendra. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm missing the correlation between the references, the custom references, and the developers. Can you explain me? So maybe we can. I can answer this question. Nothing to do directly. Could you please give any reference to understand how? Okay, Peacock. Okay, I need to go back to your question. Just 1 second. Okay. Okay, that's been already answered. Fantastic. I could see. Okay, guys, I would say if there is another last question, I will answer the last question and then we'll close the Q&A. I like to talk with you really a lot, but time is running out. So let's see if there is another question. I think there is no more. No, I think there is no more, guys. Actually, I think I've answered the majority of the questions. For all the rest, feel free to contact me. Let's see if the questions, of course, are relevant, and in case we will engage in a conversation. I thank you very much for having followed me until now, and have a good day.